It always confuses me why do people attack you like this, Sam? You've shown to be well adept in a number of different topics. Not only that, if you're not well adept, you make sure you go find the answers. You bring
Well,
guys in to make sure you're not out here looking like a fool. So why
see,
are they still
man,
attacking you?
this is why you're my guy. This is why Devin Gardner. You see the movie Friday where Smokey said,
That's
hey,
my dog.
anybody want to see me? That's my dog.
Yeah.
You see that?
Anybody got a problem, let me know.
Let me
That's
know.
my
That's
dog.
my dog, right? I do that with DG because he just made a segue without even knowing he made the segue that I wanted to take. Right. So this was a weekend, Devin, of coaching malpractice. Now, it shouldn't have been because, like you said, look, if there's a problem, right? If there's something I don't know, if I need to know about, hey, Devin, here's this Winston route in the TCU game. Did he stare him down, or was it a footwork problem? And Devin said right away, hey, Sam, that's a footwork problem, man. He didn't read that wrong. He just had a footwork. He hitched the throw he had a hitch throw instead of a plant throw. That's my guy picked me up, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know something. I talked to somebody who did. He picked me up. So why didn't Marcus Freeman have a guy like that on his staff? Why didn't Brandon Staley with the San Diego Chargers have a guy like that on his staff? Why did Josh McDaniels with the Raiders not have that? You got me out here looking crazy, making these calls. You got me out here saying that we got 10 men on the field, 2 plays in a row, and I'm in the press conference talking about, well, we can't afford to get a penalty. Somebody got to say, you sound crazy right now. See, you would have said that to me, DG. How come Marcus Freeman doesn't have a DG out there?
So for Marcus Freeman, right, in his defense, a head coach got a lot of stuff going on, right, on the field. Now,
Yes.
you expect like, oh, he know how many players on the field, but guess what? There's somebody that's supposed to be doing that, and I'm just going to tell you right now, that person got an earful on Monday to Sunday on the plane, wherever it is. And what I think happened there is the person that's doing the personnel should have known, because the head coach shouldn't be doing no personnel. He should be making sure you make a decision or whatever. It shouldn't be about if we got 10 guys on the field. We got somebody for that, or at least we should. And I think that Marcus Freeman went in that press conference, and I'm sure he let it be known, I'm going to take this one. And I'm going to look like a fool because I'm the leader, right? And even though it's ridiculous to expect the head coach who has so much going on, to count the number of people on the field, right? Everybody expects for that to be done by the head coach, right? And so going into the press conference, it's just like a quarterback. We talked about it all the time on how you're the quarterback, you take responsibility. I don't care whose fault it was, right? And so if your team doesn't have 11 guys, it's your fault, no matter whose fault it is. And you can nip that in the bud on your own time. But in front of the media, you need to take responsibility, take the heat off of whoever's job it was, because you're going to send them some choice words, if you will, right? And so I think he just needed a better excuse, right? But he took that on his shoulders. But I'm just telling you, somebody got it. Somebody got it when they got back on that plane in that locker room.
Maybe so, but you can't. Now, I'm not saying that. Understand when I'm qualifying this. Marcus Freeman is not a stupid man. He's not.
Oh, no, not at all.
He's not a stupid man at all. Very, very smart guy, very bright guy. Covered him in high school as well before he went to Ohio State, right? He was a Michigan recruit. But you sound stupid. You're not stupid, but you sound stupid talking about we can't afford to get a penalty. Dude,
Sam,
the game is over.
But put yourself in Marcus Freeman's shoes. He's thinking, there's no excuse for this. I ain't gonna have no matter what answer he gives, he gonna be looking stupid, right? So it's like, all right, bite the bullet. Maybe this one will fly by and somebody will let this one slide. Obviously, Sam ain't gonna let it slide. No. But I'm just telling you, that's somebody's responsibility, and they dropped the ball.
I want to
see the ball on Marcus Freeman, and the thing is, he gonna have to nip that thing in the bud, so it never ever happens again. They need to be terrified of him on what's going to happen. The guy got to lose his job. Whoever position it was to do that, he either got to be demoted or completely lose his job. So everybody knows we bet not have 10 guys on the field ever again as long as Marcus Freeman's the coach. I'm just saying.
So I'm gonna fill you guys in on something real quick. First of all, you can't say that. Yeah, you're better off saying, you know what, we just messed up. We had 10 guys on the field, and we didn't handle it well in the moment, and just leave it at that. But don't say we can't afford a penalty right here. It's a penalty or you lose the game. Like, I mean, which would you rather have a penalty where they move the ball half the distance from the 1 yard line, or they get an extra play where at least you get to have 11 men on the field? Like, this is not rocket science. So just don't sound stupid. Even though you're not stupid, don't sound stupid. But here was what compounds the issue, Daniel. They had 10 men on the field.
Hey, whose comment is this? This is smart. Have a signal to tell somebody to jump off sides. Jump off sides now.
Oh yeah, he said that's Marcus Freeman's comment. That's what he said in the press conference this week. He said now we have a signal. If we only have 10 guys on the field, get a penalty. Now why you gotta have a signal for that? Why you gotta have a signal for that?
Maybe just don't have 10 guys on the field.
Maybe just don't have 10 guys on the field. But here's the problem. You go back a couple weeks, they played Tennessee State. 10 guys on the field, they almost gave up a touchdown. And they're talking about it on Twitter. Right. And didn't correct the problem when it happened before. So it's like, man, this is not the first time that you've had this issue, Daniel. And this time, though, it probably cost you the game, or at least it cost you a chance to close that game out.
It shows a little bit of, I don't want to say lack of self-scouting, but I know in basketball, if you see something in film, something like that occurs of that nature, like you said, normally those mechanisms are put in place a lot sooner. Hopefully they're put in place before it costs you a game like it did last time, right? So, I can think of, as an assistant coach, when I coached college basketball, I was in charge of doing substitutions. I got caught with 6 guys on the floor one time. The head coach, he didn't throw me under the bus in the media. Hey, you guys got to take the food, but when we got back in the locker room, hey, man, I trust you. Yeah, do your job. Like, I trust you to do something. You get caught up, you need to tell guys. So, that's one of the lessons I learned as an assistant coach early in my coaching career. Hey, you better make sure you got the right amount of people on the field. So for that to occur on national television in a game of that magnitude, that was pretty shocking. So,
no, I hear you. I'm picking up what you're putting down there. The buck stops with you, but you can't say that. You can't have people questioning whether you know what you're doing. When you say that, people question whether you know what you're doing, especially when now we know you did the same thing in week 2. And in Tennessee State, they wound up scoring 3, but they almost scored a touchdown. So it's not you won 56-3. But they almost scored a touchdown because you had 10 men on the field.
But Sam, that kind of goes back to, a lot of coaches say, I won't accept something in a win that I won't accept something in a win that I wouldn't accept in a loss. But sometimes when those things happen in a win, especially a win of that huge of a margin, you kind of you let it. It's kind of like, hey man, come on, man, make sure you got 11 out there now. Come on, man. And somebody it's just not as much fear in their heart of like, I can never let this happen again. It's kind of like, yeah, my bad, coach. I'll make sure I got you next time. But now the fire is as hot as it's been all season. You playing against Ohio State, and you got to think about what Freeman got on his mind. I used to play at Ohio State. I should be the head coach there. I want to get these dudes. So he ain't worried about that. And then whoever it was, won't know who it was, because I'm glad he didn't throw him under the bus. But he might not have a job. At least he ain't making sure people were supposed to be on the field right now. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Well, that wasn't the only thing. I know Antoine said we got a great crowd here in the comment section. Love it. And by the way, we're going to need you guys to participate a little bit later on, because one of the things we're going to be talking about, your favorite watering holes in Ann Arbor. Favorite place to go get a drink. I got one for you that I think it's a hidden gem here in Ann Arbor. So we're going to need your feedback, because guess what? When the fellas come to town for the My Ann Arbor shoot, we might arrange it around, see these Lions? We might arrange it around watching a Lions game at one of these spots that you guys suggest, right? So we'll get to that a little bit later. But for now, it's one of those things where, talking about Marcus Freeman, not wanting to see him go out like that, not wanting to see people question intelligence, because it wasn't just the 10 men on the field, right? There were other breakdowns. Now, the players need to take some blame for this too, because they choked that game away to Ohio State. Let's be clear. Ryan Day can talk all he wants about how tough they are. He's the biggest fake tough guy out there. We're going to get to that. Trust me, we're going to get to that. But they choked that game away. You got a chance for an interception to close the game out, DG. They could have won the game on interception. But, okay, you dropped the interception. Now you get him to 3rd and 19. You've been getting heat on the quarterback the whole game. You move him off his spot. He's not like these last guys. He's not like C.J. Stroud, who wasn't great being moved off the spot, but he was better than this dude. You've been rattling him the whole game, and then 3rd and 19, you go prevent? That's another bad call. And then to compound matters, now you got 10 men on the field. One time after a dead ball, this is just the comedy of errors, and it took all of them for Ohio State to barely win the game. You understand, with 10 men on the field, Ohio State barely scored, Devin?
Yeah, it was inches. It was very, very close. They just got over that line, by a little bit. I mean, when you lay it out like that, Sam, that's a tough one for Freeman to. It's gonna have to have a lot of conversations. A lot of conversations of what are we doing? We are way too good a team. Because the thing is, like you said, with all of that goofy garbage going on, you still pretty much had the game, right? You make that pick, you can go back and figure out everything that you learned from the game. You can make all those adjustments. Like, man, this was goofy. Why do we have prevent when we was getting pressure on them already? Why were we playing not to lose, essentially? But you don't make the pick. Then you got you get to the now. We're like you said, people question how intelligent you are and all these different things. and players got to make plays though. You gotta take a gift and turn that game around so that all the faults. But maybe they need that loss. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe they needed that loss because, like you said, the 10 men on the field earlier in the season didn't learn from that, and maybe it just something you had to have to make them propel themselves forward. Because I'm just gonna tell you, I think that Notre Dame's a really good football team. Physical, got all the pieces, but the moment was too big. And the one thing I will say, even though Ohio State has lost to Michigan the last couple times, the one thing about Ohio State's program, they've been in big moments. They understand big moments. Now, maybe not the exact players that are on the team right now or the exact staff members that they had, but as a program, they've had a lot of big moments and a lot of big moment opportunities to be in, right? And so they kind of know how to react. Even if the guys haven't quite been in it themselves, they watch other people be in it, right? And they've heard the talks from their former teammates. And so I think that's where it was at that moment. It's like Notre Dame just haven't been in those moments. Ohio State has, and they finished.
Yeah. So what about Ryan Day?
Say it, huh? It sucks.
What about Ryan Day, Daniel? I mean, so he just I'm watching the post game. He's going off, right? And I'm thinking, man, did Lou Holtz say his wife ugly or something?
Man, I was wondering.
What did he say to elicit that kind of response? Where this man he's coming off like he's ready to fight.
Yeah.
First of all, nobody heard
what he said about our team.
Did y'all hear what Lou Holtz said before the game?
Yes, I did.
I didn't. So I didn't know.
I'm talking before the game. No.
So
Lou Holtz talking about?
No, I'll bring you up to speed. So Lou Holtz was on the Pat McAfee show.
No, I know what happened.
Okay.
I know what he said. I heard it.
Oh, you heard what he said?
Yeah, I'm just saying beforehand. So when I'm seeing Ryan Day go off, I'm like, what is he going on about? Like, what is he?
Nobody watching Lou Holtz.
Yeah, like, why are you picking on the senior citizen? You get no stripes for that, for one. In the athletic community, Lou Holtz his time has been past.
176 years old.
Yeah, like why you picking on him?
But another thing, real with you, I thought Lou Holtz was dead. I mean, I'm being honest. I mean, that's not. You know how you think somebody passed away, and then they show you that they're still alive.
So he haven't been in the public eye a lot. I know that he hadn't passed just because I do USFL with Skip Holtz, his son, right? And so we've talked about it and everything. He's actually been in the game, so I knew he wasn't dead because of that. But he is up there, and he don't be on TV no more, right? So it kind of can make you think like, well, dang, where Lou Holtz at?
Where is he at?
But I think it's a phenomenon going on right now in college. A lot of sensitivity going on amongst these head coaches in college football right now. Like,
hey,
for guys who
real quick,
be so confident.
Ben, do me a favor while Daniel is going over this point. I need you to go find me the video, Ralph Tresvant, Man with Sensitivity. Can you find that for me? Can you bring that up for me, a man with sensitivity? Find that video and go to the part where he's dancing around because that's Ryan Day. So go ahead, Dan. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, but it's a lot of sensitivity in college football right now. Whether no matter where you look, it's different coaches, responding and picking at each other. And my thing is for guys who claim to be supremely confident, they should have like rabbit ears, right? Like they should really are sensitive to what other coaches say. And the people that I know that are really supremely confident, like going back to Ryan Day, the people I know that are really supremely confident, they don't even hear that stuff. So to see him act that way, it felt like was this pre-planned? Like if we win, the first thing I'm going to say is Lou Holtz and we're the toughest team. Like, come on, man. Like there's a certain level of toughness of winning on the road in college athletics, but let's not go too far.
Hey, man. Ryan,
another thing though that everybody preach, we don't hear nothing outside. And you get reporters asking questions. I don't know nothing about that. We don't worry about other people. We only control what we can control. Right. But then when Lou Holtz just pretty much states a fact, right? It's just facts. It's just what he thinks. He's older, but he was spot on, right? Not to mention he's a Notre Dame guy, right? So he's going to be in favor of Notre Dame in this spot. And for you to take it so personally, like I was just like so confused. Like what? Like you said, I had no idea that. I had to start Googling. What did he say? What did he? Did he attack him as a leader, as a head coach, as a program? Like what happened? And it's not like he was saying, they soft. He's just saying this, they just, the toughness of the game. Michigan did what they did. I don't know, man. It's rough. It's rough in Ohio, man. It's rough. It's rough.
You said they played one half of bad football. I'm like,
that's not true.
Like,
2 more games. What are we talking about?
Hey, man. Hey, so listen. You guys were players. Be a player in that locker room. If you saw Ryan Day acting that way, would you have thought, oh yeah, man, that's right, coach? Coach, tough, man. Coach going hard. Would you? I would have thought that I think his team had to be like, come on, man, that ain't you. That's not you. That's not you at all.
Actually, for his team, so from people I've talked to at Ohio State, he is a fiery kind of dude, like where he takes stuff personal. As much as he make fun of Harbaugh, he's very similar as far as the sensitivity about stuff and, being kind of, I don't know what the word is, nitpicky or whatever you want. He's a fiery dude. So I think that he had fed that to them all week of like how everybody thinks you soft because of what Lou Holtz said and because of their past transgressions. I mean, it is what it is. So I'm sure he fed it that line of everybody thinks you soft. We're going to go blah, 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 blah. And so when he did that, and how much he was saying, I love my players. I just love Ohio. It's us against the world. That's a rallying cry that players can get behind. And so I would have got behind him if I was his player, like, oh, yeah, my coach, he talking about how much he loved me and he about to crown TV. He must really love me for real because he is going off. You know what I mean? So I think that's a rallying cry they can get behind.
86-year-old man. Oh, the 86-year-old.
Well, the thing is, we don't care that he 86.
Yeah.
If you 86 and you talking crazy, you can get it too. You know what I mean?
Man,
so yeah. And for us as grown up, we looking at it like you crazy. What is you doing?
I don't think you tough when you mess with an 86-year-old man.
Well, ain't like he rolled up on him, Sam. Ain't like he punched him in the face.
Like he was gonna roll up on him. I can't believe what he said about my team. Where's Lou Holtz at now? Where's Lou Holtz at now?
When you win, you get to say whatever you want. When you win, you get to say whatever you want. He did win. He did technically prove that they was tougher than Notre Dame because they ran the ball, even against 10 men. I don't know what to tell you. But all I know is
trying to get points off of geriatrics, man. This the dude. He probably think he got game because he messed with Lady Eloise, right? He that dude, right? he that dude. Right? Come on, man.
Darling.
I'm just saying, you don't get points off of geriatrics, man. You don't. Like,
that's
what I'm saying.
I'm with it though. Like if I'm a player in the locker room, I'm buying everything he's saying, right? Like that's especially after a big win on the road against Notre Dame, coach could pretty much say he could get in there, stand on his head and say, we're astronauts, and I'm gonna agree with him because we just had everybody's in locker room hyped at the moment, so he could probably say whatever, and guys are gonna roll.
But you know what it was about. This is the thing that first of all, I have no respect for you talking after the fact. Like you had all of this angst, all of this anger, all of this frustration about what Lou Holtz said, but you waited till after the game was over to mention it. If it was that important, you can't tell me there was no media around where you could have gotten the word, yeah, I don't appreciate what Lou Holtz said. It would have been in the broadcast, right? They would have been talking about it all game long.
And just not to cut you off, prior knowledge says he is the dude that'll get out front when he know he don't like something. Case in point, I'm gonna put 100 on them for talking crazy, talking about Michigan. So you're right about that. You looking real front runner-ish when you do it this way.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So he waited till after the game was over to say it, and then it was an 86-year-old dude who can't do anything back to you. That's no see.
Well, Lou Holtz got a little platform. Lou Holtz can find a way to put something out in the media if you want.
Lou Holtz already came back and said, I say it again. I'm proud of what I said. Yeah. Yeah, Lou Holtz already came back, but he can't do anything. But if he's that upset about an 86-year-old dude who hasn't coached in 30 years or however long it's been, how must he feel about a guy who yesterday, for all intents and purposes, said you were born on third base, acting like you hit a triple, and then went out and beat the brakes off you 2 years in a row? How do you feel about that? Right, but we don't hear anything. He hasn't said a word about it. So, I mean, like real front runnerish right now.
Yeah.
Nothing in that game made me think Ohio State was any tougher. I'm hoping for the opportunity to offend Ryan Day. Hoping for the opportunity. I want that opportunity. You know me. If Ohio State wins that game, I will be the first to give them credit. I will be the first to tip the cap. But if they lose, DG, they lose,
you will be insufferable. Because you don't want to, and Daniel, you want to know why he's gonna be worse than ever? It's because last year one of they like podcast dudes tried to attack him.
He did,
and then secondly, and ain't no as far as Michigan State goes, it ain't gonna be nothing. He can't really get turned up that week because they're going through their thing. They ain't gonna really be talking too much, so he gonna have a lot of stuff he got to get out. And it's gonna be insufferable. You should have saw him last week, and you should have saw him after the game Ohio State last year. It's gonna be 20 times Ohio State. I'm almost asking you to just make it like real close, and then Michigan win on the last second something, so Sam could at least come in and just be a little more humble. Don't let Michigan beat you down like they did them last 2 years. You ain't gonna hear the last of it from this man right here. I'm playing correctly. This man right there, the one right there. Inside Lions Stadium.
Hey, so I compared Jim Knowles. And so this is how I know it. This is the last thing that we're going to say on this topic because we got so much more that we're trying to cover. We were talking about Jim Knowles, and somebody brought up that DG looked like Nino Brown because he had on the fur coat, and it made me think in the moment. That's what Ryan Day did, that he put Pookie around the product, right? It just came to me. You took a Big 12 guy, gave him the defense, and surprised when he went all nuts with it. Just like they were surprised that Pookie went all crazy when they put him around the product. Same thing, right? So someone took an image of Pookie and superimposed Jim Knowles' head on it. DG, it was the funniest thing I've seen in a long time.
Y'all are crazy.
So I need that same man. Now, Ben, can you bring up the video real quick? Give us the screen. Now, I love New Edition. I love Ralph Tresvant, right? When he did his solo project, he had I think his debut single was "You Need a Man with Sensitivity," and we all agree that Ryan Day is a sensitive man, right? Ryan Day is a very, very sensitive man. So I think that it would be fitting for some artistic fan out there, because our fans do their homework. They do a great job. You gave a math problem a couple weeks ago, didn't you, DJ?
Man, they put that thing together something crazy. I gave them 40 time and all this. I said, my goodness, I needed them when I was in math class at Michigan.
Right. So look at Ralph Tresvant right here. This is Ralph Tresvant. This is the front man for New Edition, right? Doesn't he look like he looks like a sensitive man right now, right? Can you hit play on that pen so he can dance around a little bit? So I just need Ryan Day. I need Ryan Day's head on Ralph Tresvant's body. Can someone do that for me?
Oh my gosh.
Can someone who is artistic take Ryan Day's head and put it on Ralph Tresvaughn's body so we can see what a man with sensitivity looks like in scarlet and gray. Can one of y'all do that for me? I'm sure you can.
Sam, I honestly think you got a problem.
He gonna come after you.
Yeah, I can't wait till Ryan Day pull up on you. I can't wait.
Please.
I can't wait.
Please. I want to see it. I want to see it. Bring me that. I want all the smoke. I want all of it. Let's make it happen.
Steady Droppin Dimes live podcast.
Look at all this rain and water.
Pull up.
This is what sensitive men look like. I mean, he's a sensitive man. He shouldn't take offense to this. This is Ryan Day. This is who coaches Ohio State. There you go.